Dave, this is where the fans do not know this. You know this. I want to say we're calling it audible here. I'm picking up the phone, dialing it. We're calling in the lefty, Dave. So it's been a good show. I will talk to you probably tonight. You have a good one.
Me too.
And we're going to drag in. I hope he is in. He's waiting. Oh, Dave already did it. So I didn't have
I got
to
you
do
covered, bro.
Dave's got it covered. Calling in the audible, talking some baseball right now.
Enjoy, Jake. Thanks for talking boring sports.
Okay, have a good day.
I don't have to.
Jake, how you doing? How you doing, big guy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I want to thank you for doing this so that I don't want to rip my hair out at the end of it. As Dave does know, and he's probably like, yeah, that is true. Because we all know Dave is not a baseball fan. Dave hates talking about baseball. So I threw the good old invite out to Jake to talk about news that we could not pass up. I woke up to it today where Brandon Swanson texted me and he said, hey, Lindor's probably going to the Mets. By this point, he was already a Met for sure. So the trade is, we're talking about Lindor. We're talking about Carrasco going to the Mets from the Indians. The trade was Lindor and Carrasco to the Mets. In exchange, the Indians got infielders Andre Jimenez, Ahmad Rosario, right-hander Josh Wolf, and outfielder Isaiah Green. Jake, the first question I want to ask you with this is, we'll talk about the Mets in a second. I want to focus on the Indians first. What I've seen on Twitter is apparently the entire ownership, front office, everybody in Cleveland should just be fired because the Mets just got away with highway robbery. What are your thoughts?
All right, I would like to calm those people down a little bit. First of all, the front office shouldn't really be blamed. They're put in a position where their best player, the best shortstop in baseball, is up to be a free agent at the end of this year, and ownership has basically told them, we are not going to pay him. So you have to go out and get some type of value. Now, what they actually got back wasn't that bad. I'm not too high on Meta Rosario. He's a rough fielding shortstop, can move to second base, can play third base a little bit. He has an all right contact bat, pretty pull heavy, can't really hit to all fields. But Andres Jimenez, I like, good fielding shortstop, can hit to all fields. And Josh Wolf was a first-round prospect who fell to the second round because he was coming out of high school and teams didn't think that he was actually going to stay with whoever drafted him, instead go to college. So the Mets took him in the second round, offered him a buttload of money, and he stayed. And he has number one potential rotation high-end ceiling. And he has some arm mechanic questions where he has a little bit of injury kind of worries with his mechanics and all that. But honestly, I don't think in the situation that the front office was put in, I don't think they did a terrible job. If anything, it should be the ownership that's getting blamed, if anything.
The quote that I have, this is from, so it's, yet again, doesn't even, here's the thing. If you're a sports writer on Twitter, put where you're right from. I'm looking at you, Mike Mazzeo, says rival executive on Mets landing Lindor. They stole him. Total steal. It's ridiculous. People in Cleveland should be fired for doing that trade. I don't really know. For me, looking at it, it's one of those, I know Cleveland said, hey, they feel like the guys they got are going to help them compete and still end the World Series drought. I really see through that. And for me, I go, you're lying through your teeth all of your fans, because you're trading one of the top pitchers in baseball, plus one of, if not the best shortstop in baseball.
He's the best shortstop in baseball.
It's just one of those to where it's like, you're lying. You're lying if you believe what you're saying. But if I'm the Mets, I'm sitting there, and the thing that I was looking at, and I know last season's a little bit difficult to judge off of because it was a shortened season. This year, they're hoping it's the regular season. I know that there was talks where should they shorten the season because of the vaccine and stuff. Is Lindor and Carrasco, maybe this is a stupid question, are they enough to, maybe they might be enough to overcome what the Marlins did last year, because last year what the Marlins did shocked everyone. I didn't think anyone had the Marlins in the playoffs. But this is a division where, what, should we expect the Braves to be the favorite for number one, see what Philly and now the Mets can do, and the NL East is now a 3-dog race for the top?
I I think at most it's a 2-dog race. I don't think that. I mean, actually, no, I'd probably say it is a 3-dog race, but I don't think the Phillies or the Marlins are really in that discussion as much.
I already threw the Marlins out.
Yeah,
with the bathwater, just all together.
Yeah. I think the Braves are still Team A. They are still the best team.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Mets have added McCann, May, Carrasco, and Lindor now.
Yeah,
but I still think that the Braves are the best team. They have by far the most high-end talent, and they're pretty deep as it goes. As long as they bring Ozuna back, there's still a lot of free agents out there, which could change so many of these things. But if Ozuna comes back to the Braves, which is kind of expected, you'd never know in this offseason, then I still think they're the best team. The Nationals will be good once again. I strongly believe that when they get healthy this year. And then the Mets are still a wild card because they could still go out and do more. They could still go get a Trevor May. They could still go get a George Springer.
Do you think the Mets aren't done? Do you think they do go out and get like a May or someone?
Depends. The whole thing with this deal is I know we'll get to the Mets, but if they extend Lindor before the season starts, then they might wind down a little bit on the moves. But they definitely still have more moves coming. I would highly doubt they have the only owner in baseball who didn't lose money last year because he wasn't involved in the league. So he's gonna probably go out and spend the most money. And a Trevor May wouldn't make too much sense now getting Carrasco. I still think the guy they're gonna gun for is George Springer for sure.
Yeah, because like the thing too, and we can just go into the Mets right now, is I feel like there's a part of me that feels like you mentioned, like, oh, are they going to extend Lindor before the season? This isn't a Aroldis Chapman kind of situation. Like, no. I refer to him with the Cubs where, hey, we're not going to extend you. I feel like if you're making this deal, you're going to extend him, right? Like the whole reason why the Indians traded him is because they didn't want to extend him. They did not want to give him the money that he's owed. Like, for me, it was basically whatever team is trading for Francisco Lindor, we are prepared to give you whatever money you want because we don't want to just trade for you for this year. We want you locked down for our team.
Yeah, I mean, he's 27 years old. He's just entering his prime. He's the best shortstop in baseball. There's no way the Mets are going to give up the value they did, which isn't a lot, trading for Lindor, but they gave up solid value in prospects. Yeah. And they're not – I would expect he's going to get a 6, 7, 8-year deal would be my assumption because that is the type of talent that he is, and there's no – and his value probably now is going to be higher before the season starts because this is a very, very, very strong shortstop free agency class coming up. I think it's Javi Baez, Trevor Story – and Francisco Lindor. I
hope Javi doesn't hit free agency, but you never know with this fucking new Cubs management.
Yeah, so his value would be definitely best idea would be to sign now and just guarantee himself money. And I'm pretty sure that Cohen's been pretty obvious. He's like, he said, I think his quote was, if I don't win a World Series within 6 years of being here, it's a failure. Yeah. So he is definitely going to go for it. And I think it just depends what they do the rest of the offseason. Expect Lindor to be signed, if not before the offseason ends, before the All-Star break.
Because like the other thing I think about too, and kind of throw Carrasco in here more because we've been focused on Lindor enough. The Athletic put out a tweet. They said when fully healthy, the Mets rotation will be stacked. You got DeGrom first, Noah Syndergaard, Thor, Carlos Carrasco, Marcus Stroman, and then David Peterson. This to me, like to the Mets, I feel like, of course, if you feel like you want to go out and get more to add more to maybe win a division, go ahead. But like to me, I think of this Mets team now of all they have to do in my mind is make the playoffs where yes, you shoot for the division. That's your goal in a season. But let's say they make the wild card team. I almost look at them like we were talking about the Padres where it's like, your first 4 starters, it's like in a series, how are you going to get through those guys? Like DeGrom and Syndergaard on any other team would be a 1, not a 2. Carrasco coming over, he's now their 3, and then Stroman the 4, to where it's like, yeah, Stroman's not DeGrom or Syndergaard, I would say, but like still very good. This is a team that to me, all they have to do is make the playoffs. They got to make the playoffs, and their pitching can take them to a World Series.
Well, and the big problem with the Mets, I'll use Fred's nickname. Shout out to Fred. He calls Syndergaard Cinderblow.
Okay.
Really doesn't like Noah Syndergaard.
I was going to say, Fred's happy with this, right?
Oh, Fred is elated. Fred is elated. He is so excited. I did have to remind him that they're still the second best team in New York, but I still had to do that. But I think the big worry with the Mets is injuries. They have to stay healthy. Yeah. Everybody on that pitching staff has had injury history. Obviously, Carrasco and Stroman missed, opted out of last year, but it was rumored that because he had injury problems, he didn't want to rush himself back and play in the season. Syndergaard obviously spent time injured, and then DeGrom's the best pitcher in baseball. So he is what he is. It's just if the Mets can stay healthy, they're a scary team. Do I think they're on the level of the Padres and Dodgers? No, not yet, but they're still a very, very good team, and it's definitely good to see the organization finally turning around after like a decade and a half of kind of being eh.
Yeah, I mean, I know that even in the replies, someone listed the entire rotation for the Braves and was like, I'd go ahead and take that. 3 division titles and counting. And it's like, okay, speak from the high horse right now. When you only won that division by 4 games and the Marlins were right behind you. I agree with you. The Dodgers and the Padres are the matchup that, like, right now, if I had to place bets, that would be my NLCS, would be Dodgers Padres. Probably with the Dodgers getting home field advantage. Because I don't know, like, I'll ask you because you weren't on for it. Are the Padres a for sure winner in the West, or are you still putting your money on the Dodgers to win the West?
No, I'm still putting my money on the Dodgers.
See, that's what I was thinking.
And now the Dodgers are. I just got rumored. Now I was going to say about the Mets too. The Dodgers are interested in Kirby Yates, who is one of, if not the best closers in baseball. The Dodgers just do such good business year in and year out that the Mets still have bullpen issues. They, like Eric said, they still need a back. Edwin, I can't even think of his name right. Edwin Diaz, couldn't even think of his name.
You say Edwin, I think Encarnacion. So I knew that wasn't it.
Oh, I hate him. Edwin Diaz is still their closer. And you have Liam Hendricks and Kirby Yates out there in free agency, who are 2 of the best closers in baseball and still don't have contracts. Yeah. If you truly, truly want to compete, you have to go sign one of those people, especially so that the Dodgers don't.
Yeah. I know Cub fan me over here. The only thing I can think from this is, all right, so if we trade Chris Bryant, what kind of a value are we going to get? Because, like, I looked at the value for this, and I was like, I'll keep Chris Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go ahead. Please just pay him. Just pay him. Fucking, Ricketts, get the fucking money out of your fucking pockets.
It's every team right now. It's every team.
Do you think there's anything with this that we haven't touched? That's what I'll ask you. Because you're more the baseball expert than me.
I think. I understand if anything, the ownership of the Indians needs to be criticized very, very heavily for this whole situation. Because if you have the best shortstop in baseball,
you pay him.
You should just pay him.
Yeah.
You should just pay him whatever money he wants. But clearly that wasn't going to happen. So the front office, it's the same situation the Red Sox were in last year, and they ended up getting Verdugo in that trade. It's still crappy value for what you're getting back. You're never going to get equal value for trading the best shortstop in baseball. So. Did they do horribly in the situation they were given? I truly don't think so. But again, when you're trading the best shortstop in baseball, you're never, ever going to be in a win situation.
Mm-hmm. And like Eric does mention, I guess the NL Central doesn't want to compete. I don't know. Like for me, you look at the Central where the Brewers went out, made their moves. I think they might have missed their window. The Cubs are looking more to rebuild than World Series. The Cardinals have never been a team in my mind that goes out there and makes a big trade like this. They're somebody that like either goes through farm system or they find veterans in free agency that are not the top guys that'll fit with their team. And then the Reds are good, but yet again, are they going to even bring Trevor Bauer back? Does he even want to come back?
No.
And then the Pirates are the Pirates.
The Pirates are just they. I guarantee the Pirates didn't lose money this year because their payroll was like $30 million.
Yeah,
there's no way they lost. The NL Central is the NL Central. I think the
weakest division
the Reds
in the
NL. Yeah. What do you say?
Weakest division in the NL, I'd say, out of the 3.
I mean, probably yeah. The Reds are still the team I look out for because I get they're going to lose Trevor Bauer, but if they had an actual decent shortstop like Didi or something like that, that was a team I thought was a dark horse for Lindor. They could still be all right. I mean, the whole division is not great.
Now, the question that I was going to say is, has Trevor Bauer said he's officially not coming back?
No, he has adamantly said, who said I'm not going to return to the Reds, but he's not. I would put a very, like what Sean used to say, I'd bet my car. Yeah. That I'm not actually going to bet my car because I'm not going to lose my car. But I would very strongly say he's probably not going back to the Reds.
Well, I meant like to baseball in general. Like, is he going to hang it up to where today he tweeted at 12:15, interesting with the eye emojis. obviously reacting to the trade. Like, is this something that could affect a free agency like Trevor Bauer?
I truly don't think that this will. I think Trevor Bauer is just going to go whoever offers him the most money. And I understand what he's doing with Twitter and everything to engage baseball on social media and all that. It's fine. It's kind of annoying at a point, but I think he's just going to go whoever offers him the most money. And I still think that I would be pleasantly shocked if the Angels aren't the ones offering the most money, but I guess we'll see.
The funniest tweet I've seen today, Trevor Bauer's free agency is if like Gordon Hayward made the decision.
Literally. I saw that tweet too. Literally. Like, he's a good pitcher and all that. He had a great year, but he had a great year in a shortened season. I think
the best thing about Trevor Bauer has been his YouTube channel. Like, seeing behind the scenes. Like, that shit I love. Dope. Plus, he's got a personality. But, thank you, Jake, for coming on, talking some baseball. I'm excited to see what the Mets can do now, because I've always had it. So, I will say this. First off, fuck the Mets. I only have to say that because I am still salty when you guys beat the Cubs in the NLCS. But I've always had a soft spot for the Mets because I felt like they're like the Cubs of New York, where it's always been a Yankee town, and it's always been about the AL team, and it's always the lovable losers, and I feel like that's what the Mets have been. So I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Mets, and I can't wait to see what they do now with the best shortstop in baseball, and then also Carlos Carrasco in that rotation. If you guys, again, join the Discord, link down below. Jake's in the Discord, so you get to talk to Jake whenever you want. That link down below in the description, !Discord, gets it into Twitch chat. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids. That's how you go ahead and do that. Thank you to our Patreon producer, Pat Hill. Twitch.tv/MVPvids, where we're live every Monday through Friday. We're also on YouTube at MVP Sports. That is going to do it for us today. Dave and I will be back tomorrow. Again, special thanks to Jake for hopping on, talking some baseball, making it a great segment to end the show. And then thank you to you guys out there doing everything that you do, liking, commenting, talking to us in Twitch chat. It was a really good show today. We'll see you tomorrow. And as always, have a good day, everybody.